3, 2, 1, and we are live, my dears. Welcome back. This is a Nose, the first and only channel dedicated entirely to the lesser known, to the brand new, to the long forgotten items in perfumery. And today we will be discussing precisely these with my collection of obscures from a house that I didn't realize is so close to my heart. But now that I look at it, it does not surprise me. And we're going to try to do it faster because I have to, not because I want to. Wish me luck. Let's see, who do we have? Geza from Prague. Hello. Cornelia. This is my mom. Be nice. Can't say anything bad. Hakanabi. Greetings from Poland. Welcome. You're new around here. Taffy was shaking. JC Russell. Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about Krizia. Some of you know that I actually have a propensity to collect and use Italian perfumes and fragrances and colognes. Not really sure why, but I guess I find them a little bit easier to like and to understand. I find them a little bit more prone to ply on one's personality rather than taking it over. I don't believe in beast. I am a beast. I don't have to project like a beast. You know what I'm saying? So for some reason, Italian perfumery kind of makes sense for me. Today, then, no wonder that I have no less than 7 fragrances that I can talk about that I collected not intentionally, but along the years from a house called Krizia. Krizia is a house that not many people know about. And I wanted to bring it up because I believe that with everything happening in perfumery today, this is still highly collectible. The fragrances are really, really high quality, and you can find them, some of them, for a song. So I wanted to talk to you about them before they actually disappear from the internet, eBay, Recte, everything else. I'm going to show you what I have, and I'm going to try to do it really slowly. So this is my collection of Krizia. I realized that I have some minis. Usually I don't show you minis, but because I couldn't find the bigger bottle of K, I took the mini out, and this is my collection of Krizia. Let's talk about Krizia a little bit. Krizia is a fashion house started by Mariuccia Mandelli. Mariuccia Mandelli was born in 25, so a really long time ago, about 100 years ago, which is surprising considering how very forward-looking and very modern this person was. She's a very ambitious lady. She was a teacher, but she decided she's going to go into fashion. She started sewing on an old machine, just like everybody spectacular we know about today. And she started taking things to Milan in the 50s, in the beginning of the 50s, and selling them from the back of her Fiat 500. Her collection was sold out immediately. She started making more and selling them out of her car. She eventually was named thank you. She was named the godmother of fashion. She was a very, very forward-looking lady who said this: any woman is allowed and should wear whatever the fuck she pleases, with the condition that she wears the clothes and the clothes do not wear her or them, because she was also one of the first female fashion designers to create a male collection. She was kick-ass. She was super feisty. She made a really good team with her husband, and she invented the hot shorts. You know, the shorts that are actually more like underwear because you can see your butt from underneath hanging like the Daisy Dukes. She invented those. She said, you know what? If you want to wear short, go really short. Don't half-ass it unless it's out. And that is why I love Madame Mandelli. In the 80s, she decided to launch fragrances. And because she doesn't half-ass stuff, including really, really short shorts, she very soon discovered that collaboration with really good fragrance designers and fragranticians and noses is the way to go. She outsourced those she liked, which is something I absolutely respect. Of course, if you look her up, if you look the house up, some of them are declared and some of them are not, but you need to know that a lot of her fragrances were built in collaboration with the likes of Ropion, Maurice Roussel. She actually hired Firmenich for the first fragrance, Christine Nagel, Cavalier later on, and so forth. So you have huge noses working on these fragrances at a time when houses either didn't declare, didn't really pay a lot of attention to who they were working with, and most certainly didn't necessarily so discerningly picked noses to match the fragrance concept and the house concept in general. So that is Krizia for you. Another thing that I want to talk about is the fact they don't really have that many fragrances. I think they have 19, one of them being a reiteration of an older fragrance. So it's a declared reform of an older fragrance, which I respect. I like things to be declared. I like things to be transparent. I like things to be spoken about. And I will mention that reformulation because it is of one of the things that I have here today. Another thing that you need to know is that I consider this house to be equally valuable in the per la donna, for women, for men. I organize my fragrances and I will talk about them in the order I consider them valuable. So I'm going to start with the one that I think is the least valuable from a conceptual, creative perspective. 19 is more than enough, correct. They started in 80 and they stopped at the beginning of the 2000s because Mariuccia Mandelli passed away. So I respect the way they decided to go about this. Solid lineup instead of only finding one of two James. Correct. Ashfa, Bangladesh is with us. Hello. And Louisiana. And Loredan from Romania. Juana from Italy. Hello, everyone. And Anka. So I think it's a very balanced collection. I think the Per la donna di uomo, il uomo, the women's and men's collections are very balanced. I think there is correspondence between them, particularly because some of them carry the same name. So you have moods for women and for men. You have Spazio for women, for men. You have Easy for women, for men, and so on and so forth. So a big chunk of the collection is built that way, with women and men's offering bearing the same name and launched at the same time in general. And I think they're value-wise, from a creative perspective, from a styling perspective, they're very balanced and very coherent, which is why probably I ended up with so many fragrances. I have 7 of 19 or 18, if one is a reiteration. I think it's, a quite quite solid collection, considering that I didn't build it intentionally. I didn't necessarily went at it to collect Krizia. It just happened over the years. In one instance, I have 2 bottles, and I was this close to buying another one because yesterday I was doing a little bit of research on eBay to make sure that the prices are still the way I remember them. And I found one for a song for peanuts, and I almost bought it again. I said no because I already have enough, but I will tell you about it because one of you should, particularly if you have access to the American eBay. Pavel, Lucian, Hrelescu, welcome. Andrea, hello. So without further ado, particularly because we only have 30 minutes today, I will start with the Sprint in my Krizia collection. And I will start with the one that I think the least valuable, not to say it isn't likable, not to say it isn't great. I'm saying from a creative perspective, I think this is one of the, thank you. I ate some radioactive material, so I'm glowing from the inside. No, I'm joking. I just ate something that I discovered my cat had licked first. So if I start purring or hissing, you will know why. Fiori di Krizia. Fiori means flowers. And this has been described as a fruity floral, spicy floral. In effect, it looks like this. Come on. Come focus, my dear. Seriously? Hi. Hey. Hello. Psst. No, that was my attempt to. There you go. See, I hiss at it. It starts focusing. See this font? This font was designed specially for Krizia, considering this is a 50s and 60s house. This is incredibly fresh to my eye. It's a little bit Bauhausy, but still, I mean, for Italy, for Milan, I love it. I love the whole thing. And this font you will see on every single bottle because that they did not change. So Fiore di Krizia translates as flowers of Krizia. It is defined as a fruity floral or spicy floral, depending on where you go. It was built by Hopion in 96. So this is not the first necessarily wave of fragrances. It's kind of in the middle. I think up until 93 or so, they did a fantastic job. After that, they got a little bit commercial for those days. For today, there's still, atemporal, I would say. This is, in fact, a very heliotrope heavy violet, candy violet heavy fragrance. It does have a little bit of sweeter flowers like black locust, think black locust, wisteria, honeysuckle, clover flowers in that area. So it is a floral thing. Very vague nitro musks, nitro musks, but very violety in a dry kind of way. So it's neutral. It's very beautiful. It's very feminine. It is very Federico Fellini-esque, I guess, visually. The cap mimics kind of like a stone, like a rough cementy stone type of texture. It's a very interesting thing. The flaconnage is beautiful with Krizia, and I think they do a really good job matching matte surfaces with transparent or glowy surfaces. So visually, I think it's very, very well composed. More of a sticky, sweet. It isn't sticky. It is a sweet floral, musky, powdery, airy. I would say almost all of them are relatively aerated. In other words, they're not dense and suffocating. I would say that. So this is a candy, dusty, powdery violet with sweet floral body and some light white musks underneath. So that was Fiori di Krizia. The next one, you're not gonna like this. This one has a lot of fans, and this one was hard to get because in my head, this was supposed to be a Tonka bump, and it is Tonka-ish. I'm going to show it to you like this because it's the weirdest packaging ever. Of course, you're going to see the same type of font. Krizia is here. You open it. This cone is matte, and inside you have a boob. Tits. No idea why, who came up with this kind of thing. It makes me think of breastfeeding because from the side, this looks like a nipple that's been chewed on. Not the sexiest bottle. It's hard to open. I don't understand it. But visually, again, it's very interesting because it is matte here. And once you open it, there's a button. This button corresponds to something with a battery that made this whole thing glow. So it's the glowing boob of Krizia. This is a bottle that's relatively hard to find. I think out of my entire collection, this was the most expensive. I wouldn't recommend paying this much money for it. So this is supposed to be actually, I don't know what it's supposed to be. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's Also chock full of heliotropin. It does have tonka. It's a gourmand in a way that's kind of like liquid and not really appealing to me. It's like chewing flowers or drinking flowers rather than smelling them. Because it also has like a coconut background. So heliotrope, a lot of coconut, a lot of wet-ish tonka, almondy kind of tonka, some iris, a little bit, some anise sometimes, depending on the temperature. This anise kind of like comes forward in a way that I don't necessarily think is well defined or well blended. It's not my cup of tea. It's just, it doesn't, that was my cat. It doesn't seem like a very out of everything, this stands out. So yeah, star anise. Sometimes it stays on the skin, kind of like layered on the skin, almost like a barrier that it prevents other smells from emanating or other things from going in. It's just a weird gourmand that I don't particularly think is very well made, which is something to be said because this was made by Maurice Roussel in no. This, I don't know who made this, but this one is newer, so it's 2001. No, this is not Roussel as far as I know. Roussel worked on older ones. So I don't know who made it. It is kind of dense. It stays forever. People love it because it's delicious, because it's a weird liquid gourmand. I haven't seen too many people mentioning the tonka, but I think it's there with the heliotrope. It makes it into a like almondy, boozy, slightly vanillic, slightly burnt, slightly with the coconut. It just doesn't, for me, it doesn't work, but people absolutely love it. I paid about $70 for it when I bought it. I wouldn't again. But I kept it because I wanted to show it to you. Boom. And it was supposed to be a glowing boob. I don't know what the inspiration is on this, but hey, whatever moves your fancy. That is number 2. Number 3 is this, and I only have a mini of this. This is named K from Krizia, K by Krizia, and it is a chypre. You will see this mentioned as a floral aldehyde. It's a chypre in a very Italian kind of way. So unlike everything that was made at the same time, this came out in the 80s, and this was made by Maurice Roussel in collaboration with Firmenich. This is the first fragrance of the house, and it was a pour femme, per la donna. And this is an Italian style chypre. Unlike everything else that had come out in Western Europe, I'm thinking about the Magie Noirs of the eras, the Vin Vert before that, and so on. This is actually slightly warm and slightly sweet, but it's a chypre all the way. It does open with a very, very thick aldehyde layer of green flowers, a lot of bergamot, very interesting garden flowers in the middle. I smelled a lot of daffodils and hyacinths and stuff, and a little bit of marigolds. So garden, even a slight bit of chrysanthemum in the middle. Some carnation, some citruses, bergamot for sure, but I think there's a little bit of neroli in there right in the front. And then there is a very clean oak moss, but warm, like dry-ish and warm oak moss, some vetiver, some of the same white musks, maybe a little bit of sweet woods. It's a very Italian type of chypre that is sweet and delicate and still very fashion forward. It's not attacking your senses. It's not leaving you gasping for air. It's not galbanum heavy the way others were up until that point. I think it's a very, very well built Chypre, and if you collect Chypre, look for this. Pointer for you, look for the dark label, because this was the one that was reformulated later, and the reformulated version done in 2000 and something has a light etiquette, light color label. If you want the original one, which in my experience and speaking to other people has kept rather well, look for the black label. You will be able to find it for a song online. If you're into Chypres, give this a chance. Moving forward, I'm going to pick this up because I love the bottle. This is called Spazio. Spazio means space. And this is a conundrum because I don't understand it, but I love it in a way that's very, very interesting. Spazio Krizia, I think I described, it looks like this. Same type of font. The bottle, I think, is delicious. It looks like a lentil disc. These parts are matte. This is transparent, and the same type of game is played on the cap as well. It's a very sinuous, very beautiful, in my opinion, design of flacon. Spazio Krizia, this is for women. It's defined and described by many as a powdery floral. And I say, sure, but, but it's cold. This is a cold, light, crisp, fresh. I'm drooling in my mouth because it's chock full of everything. A lot of jasmine, of the very crisp kind. If you read the notes, they make no sense. This was made by Christine Nagel. Christine Nagel, in my opinion, has a hand with fruits in particular. But, in this case, she manipulated a lot of flowery ingredients to make them stand out. They describe coffee and rose in this fragrance. I strained to find either. But it does, if I am to be completely honest, it does smell like green coffee. So if you ever smelled coffee on the plant, in a plantation, the green fruit is slightly pulpy and has an astringence that you think is gonna pucker your lips, not because it's sour, but because it's slightly dry. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like chewing on rose hip. If you know what I mean, it's kind of like something. The smell, not the taste. I've never tasted green coffee before it was roasted. In any case, it's an interesting undertone. I've only met it once in something from Hervé Domar in a fragrance called Emerald. It's green coffee. Very interesting subtone, but it doesn't smell like anything they describe. They declare ambers and vanillas and sandalwood and all these smooth things. No, this is sparkly. This is like a lime drink. It's almost metallic. It's cold. This is a cold, and it smells like the cosmos. Has nothing to do with any of the ingredients in it and any of the declared notes. Trust my words on this one. If it's floral in any way, it goes towards metallic, almost chemically floral. Think freesias. Freesias, they have a very strong floral that it smells artificial even when you smell the flower. It's just like, this can't be in nature. It's kind of like that. And cold and crisp and spring. It smells like spring. Nothing soft about this. Lasts forever. Drops any panties you want, whatever you're looking for. It's odd. It's an odd, fuzzy, zingy, metallic, very, very addictive smell. This, as you can tell, has been used since I got it because I love it. If you want to parallel, the closest I can get to with my thoughts in the power of my brain is Extravagance d'Amarige. Whoever wore Amarige, that's a white flower bomb. We're going to leave that aside. If you ever tested extravagance of Amarige, which was a flanker that had nothing to do with the original, those two, the extravagance and these, have a somewhat slight parallel when it comes to the coldness, crispness, metallic zing out there. Smells like stars. Spazio Krizia, very interesting smell. And it navigates this very tight edge of molecular, so chemical, but maybe not, and very, very addictive smell. I totally recommend it. I think I haven't smelled anything quite like it in a long time, if ever. The next one I want to talk about is this, which I'm not going to get into detail because I've presented it separately. There are 45 minutes of this. And this is Teatro, alla Scala, which in my opinion is one of the best animalic chypres everest made. I have 2 bottles and this is the one that I wanted to buy. I found one of these on eBay for $26. So if you're in America and if you like animalic chypres, if you like big, bold, in your face, absolutely smooth and very well blended civet based chypres, go for this because you can't get anything like it. Teatro alla Scala means the Scala theater, the Scala from Milan. Teatro alla Scala by Krizia. So this I won't go into detail on. Seriously, I have animalic chypre is called Teatro alla Scala, theater at Scala, which Scala is a big, big, big hall in Milan. The Scala Opera in Milan. So these, this you find separately, 40 minutes video on a nose. Go look for it. What I'm going to talk about next, I think I mentioned, and I take this everywhere because I think it's a masterpiece. It was not of this color. This is completely unisex. If it would be launched today as a niche, it would kill everyone. And this is called Crazy Krizia, crazy spelled with a K, in the same font as you can imagine. And this was made in 91 by Dominique Ropion. It wasn't of this color when it was launched. It got darker with age because it's an absolute glorious spicy amber. When I say spicy, I mean condimented. I don't mean hot in your nose. So this, the cinnamon and everything that you can imagine is not there. It's a vanillic, ambery, smooth, sandalwood, tonka, civet, amber, rich and resinous. It's not necessarily balsamic. I don't smell a lot of labdanum, but there is a dose. There's slight bit of patchouli. There's a slight bit of cinnamon. There's a lot of there's a lot of clove. There's galbanum. There's orange and sweet mandarin, and probably a little bit of jasmine. If you need a correspondence, there's a little bit of galbanum in this one. Tiny bit, and it makes me think of a little bit of petit grain, but very much in the back. There's some cedar in here. So it's incredibly well balanced. Smells like a luxury version of Obsession for Women from Calvin Klein, the old one. Very, very, very smooth. I think this is one of the embers that should not miss from any collection. I love the bottle's look. I don't understand why crazy means a leaf on top, but sure, why not? Whatever. The flaconage, as you can tell, is very interesting with Krizia because they paid attention to a lot of this. And this can be had for $20, $30. Lasts forever, has texture. It's a little bit powdery and velvety. is strong enough. It's very elegant. It behaves really well on skin and on fabric. I mean, I don't know why more people wouldn't have this. There's some herbs in there, like fat marjoram and basil. Beautiful fragrance. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It smells differently at different times of day. There's facets you discover every time you wear it. So yeah, I completely, for $20, I would not, I mean, I didn't want to do I would have done a separate cheapy video on this, but I mentioned it so many times that I feel like I've already spoken about it in everywhere to everyone. I filmed the video with Sebastian, and I brought it there because he has it and I have it. We both agree this is fantastic. So I don't think it would have warranted an hour in and of itself. The last but not the least, this is the bomb of the collection. It's called Moods by Krizia, and this is Uomo. Moods by Krizia. Daniel Solis from San Antonio, Texas. Gucci Guilty. Nice. Moods Uomo. This is pets. Hide your food. Closed doors. And this is Armageddon. If you ever wanted a patchouli that literally kicks you in the face, you howl like a dog, this is it. I keep it as a reference for patchouli. If I puff it once, I short circuit, like it happened last night. I walked around with a huge mushroom bomb around my head because this is the spiciest, most herbally, most aromatic powerhouse of the 80s. This was made in the 89. I think this for men and this for women are meant to have babies because there's no other way to express diva of any kind, male, female, whatever. This cheaper goes for everybody. And hair and balls. If you want virility, as many people ask me, this would be it because I wear it and can carry it, but why would I? I feel the hair growing on my chest. I am so conditioned by those freaking advertorials from the 80s and 90s that I cannot unsee them. And when I smell this, there's no way I can associate it with anything but the counterpart to those ultra this to ultra this. It's... I hate to do this. I do not believe in gender and fragrances, but in this case, there's no way I can see any woman wearing this. You have to nothing. If you like it, wear it. If you like patchouli, go for it. But this is intense. This is full of spicy things like carnations and cinnamon and ginger, like hot ginger and stuff. I will do that. The patchouli kicks you out of the house. The lavender is intense. Everything is powerhouse male patchouli 80s. Seriously, like you suffocate. And again, I keep it as a reference because it's very well made. It's incredibly well balanced. If this moves your fancy, you're going to be really moved in your fancy. It's a very elegant example of using oak moss not as oak moss but as greenery. There's a saltiness to it that balances this power menthol from all this power patchouli. So it's a very, very well, balanced. I've said this many times, but the equilibrium is so stable and so well thought through that I think this belongs in anybody's collection. My nose is burning right now to my brain. If you like patchouli, if you like powerhouses, if you like the 80s as a style, or if you like super virilic, drop your axe and jump from a cliff into the Mediterranean Sea, this is it. Not fresh, not like anything today. It's $20 online. Seriously, it's like I think I paid $14 or something. So rather than trying to order a vintage sample, which might cost you almost the same, I would rather recommend you try to get a bottle if you can, or a partial like I did. And that is it, folks, for today. That was my collection of Krizia, an Italian house started in the 50s, who started launching fragrances in the 80s, collaborating with really, really good perfumers to create incredible, nuanced, very sophisticated, very easy, and dolce far niente kind of lifestyle. Great quality for amazing prices. Go on the internetics, you'll find them easily for 10, 15, $20, which I completely recommend you spend blindly. I don't often do that, but in this case, I think they're all worth it. And I will see you next time. Keep it real, but keep it kind. And more importantly, please remember this: wherever you go, make it better. Kisses, and I will see you. Bye. And stream 1, 2, 3. Boom.